The firm Iyer and Mahesh was started by me 43 years back, at a time when Kerala did not have more than 2 practicing consultancy firms. And 3 of our friends, we decided that we will spread ourselves in Calicut, Cochin and Trivandrum. I started the practice here in '76 after being a lecturer in architecture department for 2 years in 2 separate tenures, and I worked for about 2 years with Charles Correa for the Kovalam hotel project as his site architect. There seemed to be a genetical attachment to architectural aesthetics, because my great-grandfather was a founder of the School of Arts. In fact, the Trivandrum School of Arts is the country's 2nd oldest School of Arts. My paternal uncle M. Ramaswamy was a chief architect, and many of my cousins and nephews, so maybe we are half a dozen architects in the Narayana Iyer family. My firm has the following parameters for design consultancy. We like to be, as far as possible, very environmental friendly design, very climate responsive design. Like if we build a resort hotel in a rural area, not a city hotel, we try to use local material like mud plastering, clay tile, coconut tree, rafters for the roof, the clay roof tile. So maximum emphasis is given to use of local material. So I think that buildings should have materials usage should be confined to the extent possible with the local material and technology. If you talk of goals, the goals are inspired by our need to do excellent planning. If the plan is bad, how facade treatment you may give or whatever cosmetic design you will give to a building, if the plan is bad, the building has failed. So I don't want a bad building which looks nice. I would rather have a good building which looks good. At Iyer and Mahesh, we have, out of 100 buildings, or say 100% of the buildings, maybe we have built about 150 million square feet in the last 40 years, covering approximately 1,000 projects. So if you look at it, maybe not maybe 150 million, maybe 100 million square feet of buildings. But I should say that the success of Iyer and Mahesh, if at all, as you may perceive rightly, is because we go into great amount of detail. We give lot of detailed drawings. We try to give perfection to specifications. We try to understand the modality of construction. and we insist on method statement for every specification. So like Mapei gives, in fact, I consult Mapei. Because what I feel is that no architect is better than the product he uses. Because the technology is with companies like Mapei. So we learn from Mapei. It's like a doctor. The doctor definitely is a zero if he doesn't take advice from his pharmaceutical firms. So we also learn from product firms which bring the latest technology to the country. Thanks to liberalization, we have the best technologies of the globe. And we specify the technology. So the appropriate technology specification is very important. And we always make sure that our quality of service is excellent so that our customers don't drift away from us. So for the last 40 years, we have had customers only come back to us, I mean clients. That is because of the quality of service we give and the quality of design that we render. Architecture, planning, and the thought process keeps on changing as the technology keeps on changing. For example, in a simple way, we never had UPVC windows. We only had timber, wooden windows and doors. Then we started having steel windows and doors, casement windows. Then we started having aluminum windows and doors. Today we are having UPVC windows and doors. Of course, it has, in foreign countries, it has come 25 years back, but in India over the last 10-15 years. So every material, every product gets innovated and technologically upgraded. So it is the architect to identify which is the best suited for what building. One of the early times when I was only 36 years old, the railways approached me. So for that age of 35, I could design all the 18 railway stations, including remodeling of Trivandrum railway station, the central station, the Nagarkoil junction, and the biggest and the largest railway station post-independence in Cape Comorin. Tamara projects, the two projects which are resort hotels, they are one of the 30-40 hotels resorts we have done. These are only two of those 30-40. But the Tamara hotel or in the Coorg or the Kodaikanal, we have used almost 100% timber. You will not see any plastered wall in Coorg. You will only see timber walls, timber floors, timber roof, timber structure. So we use a lot of eco-friendly. In fact, we use spruce wood, which is softwood, which is the best an architect can do to the world. Because spruce wood, like pine, spruce, and fir, are the most softest timber, and you get it in Canada and Northern Europe. And we got it down to China, got all the cottages made in China. We went 3-4 times, me and our staff, and then we saw the mock-ups, and then we shipped it to Thoothukudi and we erected it them. It was a great experience because many architects at least in our country, if not Asia, never thought of doing it. So that was a great experience. Iyer and Mahesh are the only architects having 7 green buildings in South India. We have 3 platinum, 3 gold and 1 silver rated green building, including the College of Architecture and the Infosys, the Technopark, the SFS grant. So many projects we are, in fact, another 3-4 projects are getting rated now. So many of my clients, including the Tamara Hotel, we have built green buildings. So those 3 buildings we never got the rating because we never wanted one. We wanted to be true to the environmental situation instead of just getting a rating. See, architecture is in a dynamic process of evolvement. If you look at even 80 years back when my grandfather built a house, and look at the way my uncle built the house, and look at the way I built the house, and look at the way the younger generation are going to build the house, the architectural aesthetics, the planning concepts, as well as the technology inputs are totally different. Because today we are talking of composite technology. It was never thought of 80 years back. I have built the first composite technology building in Kerala, behind this office building, an apartment, where we use steel frame, waffle walls, pre-hung doors and windows, and inside walls were totally pre-engineered panels. So the technologies have changed. So we have to adapt to technologies, and of course the economy is important. Because India is not a rich country, and I personally feel that architects have a lot of responsibility not to throw money, unless of course you are building a 5-star hotel or a 5-star hospital, where the spec need to be on a higher scale. But the country's biggest challenge for architects is to be very economical, because we are struggling to become a developed country. We are still in the second world. We have not crossed the second world to the first world. So I think architects need to play a very diligent role, and the designs have to be very prudent. See, unfortunately, this Mapei as a product came to Trivandrum only about 3-4 years back. And of course, there were 10-15 other international and national brands of waterproofing. But I'm not a technically very authoritative person to talk about the quality of Mapei product vis-a-vis the other brands. The cardinal difference which I found, which was comfortable and beneficial, comfortable to me and beneficial to the client, is that the Mapei quality of service. What I like is technical support, on construction service, and maybe after sales service we are expected yet to experience, but I'm sure the after sales service will be good. So as you know, that waterproofing comes under application marketing. And this is where Mapei has been able to succeed better than other competing products. Maybe the competing products are as good as Mapei, I don't know, or Mapei is better than but the quality of service, especially the technical support, the production of method statements, the sampling, the testing methodologies, I find them quite good. You see, I was a little lucky compared to many architects in the country that I had worked with Charles Correa for 2.5-3 years at my earliest age. In fact, I left the job of architecture lecturer in a Department of Architecture in CET only because I got a chance to work with Charles, and then I met him. The association with Charles Correa definitely elevated me to a higher level. Although I was not very highly paid because I was a raw graduate, I paid only 250 rupees a month. But that's okay, because I always found that Charles Correa paid 10% as cash and 90% as experience. As we go more and more into office work, one of the sacrifices we have to make is family life to some extent, but nevertheless, I enjoy a lot of evening time because I come here at 9:30. I'm one of the first to swipe the card, and I go at not earlier than 7:30, 8 o'clock. Then after that, almost every day I have friends coming home or going out for dinner and courtesy calls, going to hospital to see the elders or my teachers. So a lot of time is spent in going and wishing my elders and people who taught. I derive a lot of pleasure in that. I have too many suggestions to young architects, and in a way, I'm an architectural evangelist. I must be talking at least to 10 to 15 groups of architects in the country. And the one common thing that I tell all the architects is that don't start practicing immediately. Take time to learn. Minimum 3-5 years in a good office. I want every architect, and also the young architect should create one iconic building a year. Because, as you know, only about 10-15 architects' works have been published in the country. We are one of them. Yeah. Only 3 architects in South India. Works have been published. So your work should be publishable quality. You can't have junk buildings like this and then nobody will publish your work, because international recognition comes from publication. And the publication will only happen if your quality of work is publishable.